Hi, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today, we're making an episode on pricing psychology, and I want to talk about anchoring effects. All right, so the thing that I've been very miffed for the years I've been in this profession is that people think that this is a very statistical profession, that things happen very accurately, and that the product perception doesn't change. That's what most pricing consultants tend to just implement your Van Westendorf or conjoint survey and call it a day. No, pricing is all about perception. You remember the movie The Wolf of Wall Street, where Leonardo DiCaprio's being coached in Top of the World restaurant with Matthew McConaughey's character, and both of them are talking, and the guy says, "Hey, this is a wazi, is a woozy, it's fairy dust, it's pixie dust." That is what pricing is. Pricing is all about perception. So, what's the story with price anchoring? In 1974, Amos Tversky and Daniel Kahneman did an experiment. Okay, so the participants were given a wheel, and the wheel, unbeknownst to them, would only stop at 10 or 65. And then the participants were asked a question: what percentage of countries in Africa are in the UN? Now, when the participants turned the wheel and they got 10 as the answer, their average answer was about 25% of countries are in the UN. But when they moved the wheel and they got 65 as the answer, they thought that 45% of countries are in the UN. But the real result is 100% of African countries are in the UN. So, clear effect of price anchoring. This was a seminal study. More recently, there was a people science team that in 2018 were doing an event, and they asked people, hey, just note down the last two digits of your phone number and then tell us what the wine that you are drinking, how much would you pay for it? So the people whose phone numbers were on the higher end, they would pay, like, their average cost price was $36, but the people whose last two digits of the phone number was on the lower side would only pay $12. So a huge 3x price difference. So this is used very often, especially in the consumer side for pricing. Back in the 1990s, William Sonoma had a sandwich maker, right? And they priced it for around $270 and didn't get very good sales out of it. Then they decided to make a deluxe version for $450. And next to this deluxe version, this $270 bread maker seemed much more attractive and sales skyrocketed. Another example is The Economist. The Economist does this whole decoy pricing. It's one of their most popular things, where they have the lower end offering for about $70, and they have two offers for $125, I think. One is print only, which is the higher end, and one is print plus web for about $125. And everybody picked the middle plan because they were getting more for the same price, and it was the middle tier, right? So that's classic effect of decoy pricing. Now, price anchoring is real. It happens in salary negotiations. If you start with a bigger number, you end up with a good salary. This is why it's always advisable never to tell the employer the number that you have in mind, because the employer has seen a lot of world and a lot of life, and maybe you haven't. So you may be negotiating against yourself. Companies in B2B SaaS or just SaaS are doing that as well, right? They'll show customers the annual price. Hey, it's just $17 per month. And when you come and look at the monthly plan, it's like $25 a month. Many times I have personally not bought a plan because it was much higher on the monthly fees. Literally 2 days ago with my co-founder, I was arguing about why somebody was advertising a $79 annual fee when monthly they were charging $99. However, if they had told me the price was $99, I went there and I went to the annual plan and it was much cheaper, then I would have a much positive opinion about this company, and I might have availed their annual plan. Me being happy about them or me being unhappy about them was dependent on what initial price I saw. This is the same thing with enterprise sales. People expect a discount. As pricing consultants, we know that we have to bake in 30 to 40% in our largest deals or even more. We have to pad the pricing in order to create a list pricing such that when you get the discount, you actually fall onto the price point that we originally wanted you to be at. This is by design. This is so that the person on the other side thinks that they got something out of the bargaining, right? So you want to set high price points. Now, this is also problematic when you take your best features and you put it on your free trial, and then you have nothing else to put it on your premium plan. And this is very often that we find younger founders, earlier founders devaluing their product. You want to value your product highly. Very often we recommend that, hey, put a price tag on it and say we're giving a big discount to you, or you can use it for a little while for free, but you put a number on it. You'll have many SKUs in your tiers, right? Or many line items of features in your tiers. You call out their pricing separately and say, hey, with all of these together, you're getting a good deal. But if you bought these separately from me, this is how much the price is for. You need to establish the value for your offering. The idea that the end customer will find the value for the product and then pay for it is not true. First and foremost, you as the person providing the service or solution has to value your own solution before the customer will. That is a truth about pricing. So I hope you learned a little bit about price anchoring and pricing psychology. Now, of course, I would not suggest you apply decoy pricing across the board, but I would suggest you first create the right pricing, and then you put a layer of price anchoring and price perception control so that you maximize the value. You have to think of it more than just a statistical activity. It's a human activity. It's a perceptual activity. So that was that.